AITA for refusing to give my boyfriend the money I saved for our future, after finding out what he'd been doing behind my back. I, 27F, have been with my boyfriend, 29M, for a little over 4 years. We moved in together 2 years ago, and up until recently, I genuinely thought we were heading toward marriage. We talked about buying a house someday, getting a dog, and starting a family. Because of that, we opened a shared savings account that we both contributed to every month. The account was specifically for our future together. For some context, I earn significantly less than my boyfriend. He works in tech, and I'm a teacher. Even though he made almost double what I did, I still contributed as much as I reasonably could. There were months when I skipped vacations with friends, or picked up extra tutoring work just so I could put money into that account. Over 4 years, we managed to save almost euros 30,000. A few months ago, my boyfriend started acting differently. He became protective of his phone. He started staying late at work several nights a week. He suddenly cared a lot more about his appearance. New clothes, new haircut, expensive cologne. At first I ignored it because I didn't want to be one of those paranoid girlfriends who assumes the worst. Then one Saturday, we were supposed to spend the day together. We'd planned it weeks in advance because we'd both been busy. That morning he got a text and immediately said he had to go into work. Something about it felt off. Later that afternoon, one of my friends sent me a picture. She was at a restaurant downtown and happened to spot my boyfriend. He wasn't at work. He was having dinner with another woman. At first, I convinced myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a coworker. Maybe it was a client. Maybe I was overreacting. Then my friend sent another photo. In that one, they were holding hands. My stomach dropped. I confronted him as soon as he got home. At first, he denied everything. Then he admitted he'd been seeing her for a few months. Then somehow, the conversation got even worse. He told me he wasn't sure who he wanted to be with. Apparently, he'd been dating this woman while still living with me because he wanted time to figure things out. I asked if she knew about me. She didn't. I asked if she knew we lived together. She didn't. I asked if she knew we'd been together for 4 years. She didn't. So not only had he been lying to me, he'd been lying to her too. I told him to leave. He spent the next week staying with a friend. During that time, I started separating our finances. That's when I discovered something that made my blood boil. Over the previous 6 months, he'd contributed almost nothing to our house fund. Meanwhile, I had continued putting money in every month. When I confronted him, he admitted he'd been spending thousands of euros taking the other woman on trips, buying gifts, and paying for fancy dinners. Using money he would normally have contributed to our future. At that point, I was done. I withdrew my personal contributions and moved them into an account only I could access. The money I withdrew was exactly what I'd put in over the years, verified through bank records. I didn't touch a single euro that belonged to him. A week later, he called me furious. Apparently, he had decided he wanted to work things out after all. His exact words were, "I made a mistake." He said the money should stay in the account because it was for our future. I asked which future he was referring to, the one with me, or the one with the woman he'd been secretly dating. He didn't appreciate that question. Since then, his parents have gotten involved. His mother says I'm being vindictive. His father says relationships are complicated and people make mistakes. Even a few mutual friends think I should have left the money alone because we originally agreed it was for a house. But from my perspective, the moment he started using our future house money to fund dates with another woman, he gave up any right to expect me to keep sacrificing for that future. Now he's telling people that I stole from him, even though bank statements clearly show I only withdrew my own contributions. The breakup was messy enough, but now I'm wondering if anger clouded my judgment. AITA for taking back the money I personally saved after discovering my boyfriend had been cheating on me and spending his money on another woman instead of contributing to our shared future.